Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Fox Sports.
Last night, Ben Zobrist made an emotional return to the Trop, going 2 for 4 and making a great play at second base. That helped lead Kansas City to a 3-2 win. Tonight, Jake Odorizzi goes to the Hill against his former club, looking to get Tampa Bay back on the winning track. We've had rain in and around the area of Tropicana Field this afternoon and into the early evening, but that has not dissuaded the fans from showing up tonight for the middle game of this series between the Rays and the Kansas City Royals. There's an outlaw on the loose here. Kevin Kiermaier, and the fans are coming to collect. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Rays Baseball with Brian Anderson. Dwayne Stats, great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays looking for their first win of the year against Kansas City. And as they play tonight, a couple games under 500, still looking for the consistency that has been so elusive for this team collectively. But individually, Ray in the middle of this lineup has been the model of consistency. Logan Forsythe.
Logan Forsythe all season long, and it's been the consistency of approach that has led to the consistency of production. And this is a guy that's been right at the top of the heap for the Rays all year. You can trace it to the approach, to the hand speed. This guy has got maybe the quickest hands on the team, and he has been one of the most productive, if not the most productive hitter on the team. As you can see, tied for the team lead in home runs, second in runs batted in, a tremendous on-base percentage of 356, and Logan Forsythe is one of those guys that you watch him play night in and night out, and there is no reason to think that he cannot keep this up.
Well, last night, a return of an old friend to Tropicana Field, Ben Zobrist, and Zobrist contributed to the tough evening the Rays had. We'll have more on that and his return when we return.
Around the Tampa Bay region have caused some people to be a little later than they would like. Huge lines outside the Trop right now getting ready for a little Royals and Rays baseball. By the time they settle into their seats, they'll have a chance to see Ben Zobrist first at bat. It'll be his second game back at Tropicana Field as a member of the Royals. Last night, a special tribute before the game for Ben in his return here, an acknowledgement of the crowd. Zobrist would go 2 for 4 on the night, including a double, a single, a run scored. Also some fine defense from Ben. His wife Juliana sang the national anthem before the game. His family was here, and it was a nice homecoming for one Ben Zobrist as he robs Asdrubal Cabrera on this defensive play in the hole. And after the game, they caught up with Ben Zobrist about his thoughts of returning to Tropicana Field.
Before the game, with the little tribute video and, my wife singing the anthem, it was a little bit emotional. It was hard when I was out there at second base not to think about, all the good memories and stuff, trying to stay focused. But fortunately, I got a couple. Fortunately, I got a couple hits early and was able to help the team. It was a little bittersweet, just coming from the other side of the field, but I'm excited for being in Kansas City now, and I'll always look fondly at my time in Tampa Bay, for sure.
A lot of good memories here for the fans and Ben Zobrist, and a lot more fans in attendance tonight. We're ready for baseball in 3 minutes and 18 seconds. It will be Jake Odorizzi on the mound for Tampa Bay and Chris Medlin for the Kansas City Royals, who are 5-0 on the year against the Rays. All the action next on Sun Sports.
Jake Odorizzi goes to the hill for the Rays tonight for the 22nd time in a starting role, with a record now of 6 wins and 6 losses. He's been near the 7th win a number of times. Looking forward here tonight against this lineup put together by Kansas City and presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Alcides Escobar will lead off again, the Kansas City shortstop, followed by Ben Zobrist at second and Lorenzo Cain at center. Eric Hosmer hits cleanup, the first baseman. Kendrys Morales follows, then Mike Moustakas. Salvador Perez, the catcher, bats seventh. Ron Dyson is in the game tonight. In right field, hitting eighth, and Paulo Orlando will bat ninth and play left.
Well, the one thing that you can say about Jake Odorizzi, maybe the lack of wins and losses, lack of decisions. However, his home ERA is 2.20, and that's good enough for fourth in the American League.
Rays 0-5 against Kansas City, dropping last night's game 3-2. Kansas City starts the night 79-49. The Rays are 2 under at 63-65. First pitch of the game lifted into right field. Daniel Nava tracks it and makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. That first pitch presented by Pinch a Penny. That's one thing the Royals do. They come out swinging.
Yeah, they do not waste a lot of time. We talked about this last night, but they see the fewest pitches per plate appearance than any team in Major League Baseball, and it's up and down the lineup.
Zobrist takes the pitch. That's in there for a strike. Zobrist hitting .291 over .340 in a Kansas City uniform. Oh, 2. One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, you would expect this Kansas City lineup to be very aggressive against Odorizzi, just for the simple fact that Jake, one of his goals coming into the season was to be more efficient, to be able to get deeper into games. So that means more first pitch strikes. That means, you know, less wasting of pitches.
Yes, he has been extremely efficient. Last year averaging 18 pitches per inning, and this year under 16. That's a strike call at the knees. Zobrist caught looking. 2 up, 2 down.
Let's take a look at the Rays defense and see how that's going to line up here tonight. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield, left to right, Sizemore, Kiermaier, and Nava. And across that infield, third to first, Longoria, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Loney, with Rivera getting the call behind the plate once again.
There's Lorenzo Cain. It's after the first pitch and fouls it away. That's a strike.
You know, really, when you look at this Kansas City Royal lineup, Alcides Escobar coming out of his shoes with the first pitch swing. Same with Cain. I mean, Ben Zobrist, the perfect foil, because we know that he'll work an at-bat and take a walk. And the rest of this lineup, it's not that easy to walk these guys.
Upstairs, it's 1-1. Well, they had a big night in drawing walks last night. They walked 4 times. And with that, they moved out of last place in total walks by a team in the American League. They're now 14th, moving up from 15th. Shot to right. Nava will go back, and that ball is caught. Almost got over his head, but he got back just in time to grab it. And 1, 2, 3 go the Kansas City Royals. Another look as we go to the break. The Rays are coming in to hit. By the way, that was just the outlaw dressed for the part. Starting lineup for the Rays presented by your Southern Ford dealers. It's going to be Grady Sizemore leading off, and then Daniel Nava, followed by Evan Longoria, John Chaso, the DH, then Logan Forsythe, and Asdrubal Cabrera, James Loney, Kevin Kiermaier, and Rene Rivera completing the lineup for Kevin Cash.
Well, making the start tonight for the Kansas City Royals, right-hander Chris Medlin making his second start of the season. Missed all of 2014 after having Tommy John surgery. Even coming into this season, had 6 rehab starts, and then back to the big leagues out of the pen early, and then making his first start against the Orioles. Last time out, 6 innings, 3 earned runs. And here he is going to work against the Rays.
First pitch is a strike to Sizemore. Sizemore with 6 home runs, 20 runs batted in overall, 14 of those with the Rays. Foul ball, and it's out of play, puts him down on the count 0-2.
Well, you're going to see 2 pitches here tonight who do not like to waste pitches. They come right out, throwing strikes, trying to get early contact.
Pitch is inside, and we have a plate umpire who likes to take care of business. Brian O'Nora will call a strike. So some fast working pitchers around the zone, and an umpire, if that pitch is close and around the zone, good chance it's going to be a strike. Interestingly enough, the one pitch that he might not call a strike is that pitch down and away on the corner to a right-handed hitter. Doesn't necessarily like that one, likes almost everything else.
Yeah,
and there's a strike on the inside part of the plate. Strike 3 call.
Yeah, the fastball down and away to a right-handed hitter, not important at all. Probably should never be called. Let's take a look at the Kansas City defense, see how it's going to line up. Tonight brought to you by BMW. In the outfield left to right, Gerard Dyson, Lorenzo Cain, and Paulo Orlando. And across that infield third to first, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, Ben Zobrist, and Eric Hosmer, with Salvador Perez behind the plate.
Now it's Daniel Nava. He had his second 3-hit night since coming to the Rays last night. He takes a pitch for a ball. Nava hitting .200 overall combined between Boston and the Rays. Fly ball center field with some carry. Cain's going to have to go to the track for it and makes the catch just before he made contact with the fence. 2 up and 2 down. Bring up Evan Longoria.
Chris Medlin, he's been in the big leagues for a number of years. 1 full year of starting, and that was with the Atlanta Braves in 2013. Had 31 starts that year. Good win-loss record, good earned run average.
Ground ball shortstop, Escobar up. And the throw to first on the money. 3 up, 3 down. On to the second we go, no score. Let's go places. By Outback Steakhouse Curbside Takeaway. Making your steak come to you has never been easier. Order online at OutbackSteakhouse.com. And by Morgan Auto Group. Make it Morgan. We make it happen. Second inning finds Eric Hosmer leading off. Pitch is a strike. Hosmer, the 8th leading hitter in the American League at .309, and 3rd in the league against right-handed pitching. He's hitting .333 off right-handers. Fouled back, a fastball, 1-2.
No, he does not get cheated, much like the rest of the guys in this lineup, and that's why I think you'll see tonight, especially against the left-handed hitters, you'll see Jake Odorizzi dropping that curveball in there early, just to change up on him a little bit, get ahead of him, just like he did here with Hosmer.
Fights that one off. May have broken his bat there on the fastball up and in.
Now he's got a big swing, a strong swing, and Odorizzi was able to get that ball in on him just a little bit. Cost him a bat, but by throwing that fastball up there, that ball up close to the letters, now you can come right back with that split changeup if you feel good about it. You've set it up, and let's see if they go with it. No, they're not. Coming hard in.
And he misses with the fastball across the plate up.
How about that? That's a good miss. You're trying to come in there. Not only do you not get it in there, but you leave it up and away. So Hosmer thinks that was on purpose away.
And that takes care of him. Then came the split. Take a look at that. No, that's a slider.
Yeah, almost like his cutter that he, that's the thing with a cutter. If you keep the cutter same plane, keep the wrist stiff, you'll keep it same plane, it'll move side to side. You get on top of it just a little bit, and it becomes a small little slider.
He's 4 hitters in, and he's given the Royals something to think about already.
Oh, yeah. And why not? An aggressive lineup put a lot more into their mind. There's another first pitch curve.
And Morales takes it for a strike. Two. Ball and 2 strikes. Rizzi out there, 2-2 on Morales. Jake started in the Brewers organization, got to the big leagues briefly with Kansas City in 2012 in a couple games. It was part of the big deal that sent him here to the Rays. Strike 3 called.
How about that sequence of pitches to Morales? You don't see that very often. 5 straight off speed. Dropped the curveball for strike 1, and then it was just a series of changeups until he finally got him looking. You see a lot of guys, they'll throw 2, sometimes 3 changeups in a row, rarely 4 or 5. Jake got to 4 before getting the strikeout.
Stockis swings and fouls the fastball. Is that big trade? Back in December of 2012, Odorizzi and Montgomery, Myers and Patrick Leonard, Shields, Davis, and Johnson going the other way.
And then we're going to take some of those players and have flipped them for other players. You got a whole little graph we could show you later.
Montgomery for is Erasmo Ramirez. Right. And Ramirez has won 10 games here for the Rays.
Got the Will Myers. Eventually landing you Steven Souza Jr.
Yeah, all of these trades are convoluted. Rene Rivera came over in that deal too. And a pop, he got him reaching on the off-speed pitch. Cabrera out. Actually, that's Longoria on the left side with the shift on for Moustakas. 1, 2, 3, go the Royals. Out to the ballpark Sunday, September 20th. Rays take on the Orioles and enjoy the second dog day at the Rays. Purchase a seat in the TBT party deck for you and your dog and get a Rays-themed dog item. Tickets are limited, and this event a sure sellout, so get yours as soon as you can. Visit RaysBaseball.com/special events.
Oh, it's special, all right.
Play the Orioles. They could catch a bird.
Oh. You know what? I'm bringing Lizzie and turning her loose.
All right.
She loves to go after birds.
John Jaso, first pitch, drilling it into center, and that ball is caught by Kane. He is some center fielder out there and has fun, as you can see right there, fun playing it as he slipped a little bit, a slight little stumble, and it didn't make any difference.
Yeah, I guess when you're this kind of athlete, that doesn't really hurt you. You're right, a little stumble there, but he had that ball in his sights the entire way and then taking some ribbing from the middle infielders. Nothing gets by your teammates.
Yep. Well, that's why you're an outfielder.
Hey,
you're Logan Forsythe.
You know, that's why, you know, he runs back to center field and jumps for a ball and hits the wall and falls down. You know there'll be a chalk outline somewhere. Yeah, I mean, any little mistake that you make.
Yeah. 2, Forsythe missing a curveball.
It was really good, too, on the whole backing up aspect that you played right there. It's really good. On point. You've been like that for like a good solid couple of weeks now.
There's a little tap to third. Moustakas takes care of that. Forsythe is out of there.
Just 2. One step ahead of everybody else.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And that's why it's so frustrating.
So 2 up, 2 down for Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera at 262. Scored one of the 2 runs last night for the Rays. That's a strike.
You know, Chris Medlin does not blow you away with stuff, with velocity, but he does a great job. He's got very simple mechanics and does a great job of hiding the baseball. Watch the ball come out of the glove, stay right behind his body. You don't pick that thing up until it gets to its release point. It's not one of those long arm swings that you can follow all the way. He keeps that arm right behind his body, so you kind of lose it, oh, and there it is. All of a sudden, it's up to its release point, and here comes the ball.
Well, the Rays seeing him for the first time, and I'll tell you, through an inning and 2/3, outside the fact that he's retired everybody's face, he's a fun pitcher to watch.
Works quickly,
yes.
Throws strikes.
And he strikes out Cabrera. He went up with the fastball there. 1, 2, 3, go the Rays. On to the 3rd, no score. Tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #SSDataStrongFan and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Best seat in the house right there. Couple of them.
But get your feet off of it.
Make room. Salvador Perez going to lead off the 3rd. Pitch down and away. Perez, then Orlando, and then Dyson. And a strike. 1. And here's Perez reaching. 1 and 2.
Very off balance on that swing. After you see what it looked like a slider speed, slider break, and then all of a sudden fastball down and away. Everything's been away and it's been down.
Looper into short right. That will fall for a base hit. So Perez went that way. Pitch up a little bit.
And that's the reason why he was able to get the bat to it. All other pitches by Jake Odorizzi in that sequence were down and away. Really didn't look like he had a chance. This one stays up enough, even though it's off the plate. Salvador Perez, he's big, long arms. He's able to reach it and get just enough to drop it in front of Daniel Knopf.
You know, we saw Perez do that last night in his first at bat, and did pretty much the same thing.
You've just got to be cognizant of when you're going away, it has to be down. Up, you give them a chance.
Orlando shortens, takes a fastball for a strike. Orlando up in the 8th spot. Alex Rios was a last-minute scratch from the lineup. He's under the weather, so Dyson replaced him, and Orlando moved up to the 8th spot. Dyson 9th. Nice stop right there by Rivera. 1-1. Jake Odorizzi has not had a decision since he beat the Tigers on the 28th of July. Rays won that game 10-2. He gave up 1 run in 6 innings of that one. That's a strike. 1-2 fastball.
His last 2 starts on the road, that long road trip, he went 12 combined innings, 3 earned runs, certainly good enough to pick up 2 wins.
Yep.
He got no decision twice. And actually the Rays lost both of those games.
You know, of those 5 games, he pitched well enough in 3 of them for certain to get a win. You could make a case in another one. So he could easily be 4-1 in those 5 starts, which would have made him, what, 10-7 right now.
He's by very definition the guy who's going to pitch deeper into the game and give you a chance to win every time out.
Cut and a miss. He strikes out Orlando.
And it's official, where we've seen a lot of times Jake Odorizzi going with a cutter, even to right-handed hitters. Tonight it's a straight slider. And we've seen a number of them in that 81, 83 miles an hour range. You see it get a little bit of depth there. Late recognition from Orlando here in St. Pete.
Boy, I'll tell you, if you have as many looks as he's given these hitters, you really have something to think about now.
He's got the exotic blitz package tonight. The slider, which you'd have to go back a while before you see that pitch in any kind of large number. You may see one here or there, which a lot of times is just a cutter that he would get on top of. But he is definitely by design getting that pitch some depth.
Ground ball, that's going to be just out of the reach of Forsythe. Dyson has a base hit. Perez stops at second. So a couple hits in the third. 2 men on, 1 out for the top of the order.
Well, Dyson reaching. That's exactly what you want him to do. Reach and try to pull a pitch, but unfortunately, he pulls it a foot too far.
Alcides Escobar. We saw in the first and last night, Escobar not reluctant to swing the bat. He takes the pitch there. Appeared to be a slider off the plate, down and away. The one thing about Escobar, he swings at a lot of pitches and is tough to strike out. So look at that one, and it's 1-1. Struck out in the game last night twice, which is doing something with him.
Yeah, and this whole lineup is like that. It's amazing how many fewer strikeouts they have than any other team in baseball. The number in the triple digits.
Little roller. Forsythe out at second. Cabrera first. That's not going to be in time. Perez goes to third. Escobar reaches on a fielder's choice. Dyson cut down at second.
Just wasn't hit hard enough. Escobar going to ground this ball right off the end of the bat, so it takes a little bit to get to Forsythe, and then the speed allows him to beat it out. And this is where Jake Odorizzi really, really needs to bear down, because this team has been outstanding with 2 outs, especially against the Rays.
2 outs, men in scoring position. They drive you crazy. And that was the case last night. And now a tough out at Ben Zobrist. Zobrist was 2 for 4 with a run scored last night. Upstairs.
Well, and Jake has been one of the better starting pitchers out there with runners in scoring position, holding that opposition below the Mendoza line.
He's away and now behind 2-0. Odorizzi retired the first 6, gave up the base hit to Perez. He's at third. Escobar is at first, 2 gone. Two and one. Shot back into center field. Kiermaier with room makes the catch. Kansas City leaves 2. Bottom of the 3rd coming, no score.
Tonight, Steven Souza Jr. was hit by a pitch by Joe Kelly, fractured his left hand, and went on the disabled list the next day. For Souza Jr., today was a step in the right direction. Took swings for the first time, just hit the tennis ball off the tee. He will travel with the team guys and hopes to hit live pitching sometime on this trip, and maybe as early as next homestand, we could see Steven Souza Jr. Despite 2 stints on the DL, still tied for the team lead in RBIs. He's hoping to get at least 2-3 healthy weeks before the regular season ends. Guys, back to you.
All right, be good to see him back in the lineup. Just 34 games left. James Loney will open the bottom of the 3rd against Chris Medlin. Medlin has retired the first 6 hitters to face him. Ground ball right down to first, and Hosmer makes the play unassisted. Well, he made just 8 pitches in the first, 7 in the second, and 1 pitch, 1 out in the 3rd.
Well, when you have there's your big reason why. I mean, 14 strikes, 2 balls. You know a guy's going to be in the strike zone. You know that he's not overpowering. He likes to work from ahead. And so the Rays, we've seen that before against pitchers like this. They are ready to swing as soon as they step in that batter's box.
There's Kevin Kiermaier. Pitch is down. Kiermaier at 259. And he's had a nice run this month at the plate. Chopper. That's going to be a tough play, and Zobrist makes a high throw, not in time. A base hit for Kiermaier.
The pressure that Kiermaier puts on a defense, I mean, that's an infield chopper. Didn't hit it particularly well, but by putting it in play and his speed, you give yourself a chance. Ben Zobrist knows. I mean, look at how quickly he gets to full speed.
And Zobrist did everything he could do there.
And it may not have been enough regardless. I mean, the throw pulled Hosmer off the bag, but it was going to be real close regardless.
So an infield hit for Kiermaier. Speed at first, and here's Rene Rivera. Toss over there. So Medlin out of the stretch for the first time.
I mean, tell me how many guys in Major League Baseball beat that out. How many?
No. Maybe on one hand you could count them. Maybe.
Maybe one finger.
Well, that would be one hand. Snapped out at first by Perez. 1-0 the count to Rivera. Perez has never been afraid to throw because he has a great arm. They're aggressive even on defense.
Yep. And he's got the open lane with the right-handed hitter.
There goes Kiermaier. Swing and a miss, and the throw bounces in, and a great stop there by Zobrist on the steal by Kiermaier. Now Kiermaier with his 16th stolen base.
Yeah, watch Ben Zobrist keep this ball from getting into center field. Great pick because if not, you can envision Kiermaier popping up, maybe thinking about going to third. Although you did have Lorenzo Cain closing in on that ball.
Pitch is low. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Clint Fagan down there at first base. That advances the count to a ball and 2 strikes.
Right at the end,
Yeah,
you see that
stop.
Yep.
Medlin making the start, his second of the year's 9th appearance. And a stretch with the Braves. Had Tommy John surgery. Still a ball, 2 strikes. He's pretty smart with that Atlanta club. Tim Hudson was over there, and Hudson took him under his wing, and Medlin said, yeah, this is a great idea.
Yeah. pretty good pitcher to learn from.
Medlin actually originally was drafted by the Devil Rays out of high school. He did not sign. Oh, Rivera hit by that pitch, and that got him up around the jaw, it appeared. So Rivera injured on that pitch. Porterfield tending to him. It appears to be a lower lip and a lower jaw. I think it may have deflected. Maybe that's why he was holding that elbow up.
Yeah, it absolutely did. It was a fastball running in that it caught Rivera somewhere first and then ricocheted off the face. Yeah, forearm.
So right there it is. So he's hit by the pitch. Well, the Rays catching core getting pretty thin already. Rivera tosses the bat away and he's going to head to first.
And a little acknowledgement too by Chris Medlin to Rene Rivera, back and forth, saying, hey, listen, I'm sorry about that. And just pitching in. Ball got away from him. No intent, obviously. And you always wonder in situations like this, when a ball gets away from you like that, you catch a guy in a bad spot, how does that affect the psyche of the pitcher going forward?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, these are human beings. Sometimes you tend to lose sight of that. And that can be obviously unnerving to a hitter, but to a pitcher as well. So the Rays will have men at first and second. And here's Grady Sizemore. Pitch is a strike around the knees. Sizemore called out on strikes his first time. Two. The Rays with a couple of men on. Kansas City left two aboard in the top of the inning. And against this team, you'd really love to break out in front.
That really has to be the game plan against this Kansas City Royals ball club. Simple fact, their bullpen. Score early. Attack the starter.
Sizemore misses. He is out on strikes on the breaking ball.
Boy, how about those three pitches by Medlin? Two fastballs down and in a very difficult spot, low riders, and then you follow that up with a hard breaking ball right into the dirt. That was a veteran sequence. That was a Tim Hudson type of sequence.
Yep. Well, that's the thing about this game, that is fun when that happens. And you hope that it happens now as often as it used to. It's that pass it on. You've got a veteran guy, takes a younger guy, talks to him, teaches him, and the younger guy is receptive. You've got to be receptive to begin with.
That's it. Sometimes the admission of not having all the answers is the biggest hurdle you need to clear.
Here's Daniel Nava. Nava hit the ball to the warning track in center field his first time, only to have Kane make the catch. Ball, no strikes, the count. So the Rays in need of a two-out hit. Something the Royals have excelled at this year. It's 2-0. Taking the curveball. Medlin was a 15-game winner a year before last, before the Tommy John surgery. Made 31 starts, had 15 wins. The year before was 10-1, dividing time in the rotation, and most of it out of the bullpen. Now Nava's ahead, 3-0. See those numbers with Atlanta in those 2 years, in 2012 and 13. He had a stretch of 23 straight starts in which the Braves won every one of those starts. And he was 14-0 in that stretch. strike. Well, that 3-0 count, percentages tell you that the strike is called more than you might think then, and that one right on the corner.
Now still got to come back in the zone, or you run the risk of walking the bases loaded with Longoria coming up. So Nava should get something to hit.
And there's ball 4. The Rays do load the bases on a chopped single, a hit batter, and a walk. They're loaded with 2 outs for Longoria. Evan went out short to first his first time. And here's the opportunity in the third with 2 outs. Takes the pitch in there for a strike.
Boy, this is where you need your big gun to come through. Base hit, you start to think about multiple runs. Maybe even more than that.
Slow, blocked by Perez. 1-1.
Wonder what Brian Honora and Salvador Perez are talking about right now, because this has been an ongoing discussion.
Yeah, they've got quite a conversation.
Oh,
going.
yeah. In the middle of an at-bat, you don't normally see that.
Tap. That's a foul ball. Takes the count to 1-2. Another breaking pitch. First opportunity of the game for the Rays. And Longoria at the plate. Evan had a 3rd inning single last night. They'd love him to duplicate at least that right now. Behind in the count, and Perez heads to the mound.
And wonder if this has anything to do with the conversation with Brian Honora.
Well, that's a mystery to me.
He may be telling him, because he maybe something about going to the hat. He's like, listen, the big boy behind the plate wants you to maybe lay off that up there on the rubber. I think that trip had a purpose, because he must have done it again, and Honora said you go talk to him.
Yeah, and Medlin came down off the mound and went to the hat a couple times down there in front of the mound.
There you go. That may be it.
Pitch is wide. 2-2. Well, still after the bill of the cap. And a swing and a miss. He strikes out Longoria on the fastball. The Rays leave the bases loaded, missing their first scoring opportunity. We're at the end of 3, no score.
the bases loaded. Starts him off, fastball, strike one. Go with that slider down and away, good take. Hangs this one. That breaking ball right there was chopped foul. Tries to get him to chase off the plate. Nope, but how about this? 2-2, and that ball actually wanted it away. It runs up and in and over the bat of Evan Longoria. Huge strikeout there for Medlin.
So we go to the fourth, and Lorenzo Cain leads off for Kansas City. Pitch down and away, out of the zone. Cain line to right his first time. No runs, 2 hits for Kansas City. No runs and 1 hit for the Rays. Rays left 3 on in the third. Kansas City left 2 aboard. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. .44 pitches for Odorizzi here. 2 pitches into the fourth, and we've seen a good variety of pitches. The fastball is fouled out of play up the right side. Now 1-2. Hosmer will be next, and then Morales. Two. 25-year-old right-hander Jake Odorizzi to the plate, and he did not go. A check. Fagan says he held up.
Boy, that was going to be close. Down and away. Cain, boy, strong to hold up on that.
3-2, and he lines it foul. One hop and into the seats. Good hands to come up with that deflection.
Better hands than moves.
So another 3-2 pitch to be made to Cain. And there's ball 4 upstairs. First walk of the game issued by Odorizzi. And it puts the leadoff man on base for the second straight inning. Those are the things that concern pitching coaches, putting the leadoff hitter on in any one inning.
And that's something that Jake Odorizzi has done a great job of, leading off innings, limiting base runners, especially with the self-inflicted wounds. But Cain gets the best of them there. It's
such a game of percentages, and when that leadoff man gets on, now you're really battling against the percentages. Pitch inside to Hosmer, and you've got a guy up here who's the 3rd leading hitter in the American League against right-handed pitching. And coming into the game, he's 4 of 7 in his career with a home run against Odorizzi.
Well, that's good. I mean, because then Jake can go back and say this is what not to do. And that's what you end up having to do, as to try to stay positive.
Yep.
Well, this one didn't work. So let's try this time.
There's a cut and a miss. Takes the count to 1-1. And now I like the way you're thinking.
Well, that's the only chance you have.
1 on with a ball and a strike to count to Eric Hosmer. Yeah, got some tough bats here in the middle of this lineup. Hosmer, then Morales and Moustakas. The bunt, and that's fouled. 1-2.
Well, I think with the shade, the extreme shade, is Cabrera's not all the way on the other side of second base. But a lot of open land there that Hosmer was taking a look at. Although if that ball's fair, Longoria probably catches it in the air. He bunted it so hard.
Toss to first. Cain is back in. Cain, a very good base runner. downstairs. It's 2-2. That fastball, and we've got a good hitter, Hosmer, at the plate, and a good base runner at first base. And Odorizzi trying to be quick to the plate.
Well, 7 of 9 opposing base stealers off of Odorizzi. It's not too shabby, just for a righty.
It's out of play. The count is still 2-2.
And that's the big reason why Rene Rivera back behind the plate. One of the keys to success against this Royals ball club is to limit their running game. They steal a ton of bags, don't hit a lot of home runs, but they take advantage of scoring opportunities, and a big part of that is taking a walk or a single and turning it into a runner at second.
Up the left side, that's foul. And they're not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Another nice fielding exhibition down there in the stands.
Pin that ball right up against the low wall. Some big meat hooks around it.
Two. Now it's a full count. Runner goes. 3-2 is fouled. So on the full count that time. Lorenzo Cain off and running. Runner goes again. It's shot into the gap in left center field, all the way to the wall. Cain's going to score easily. It's a double for Hosmer. Kansas City takes a 1-0 lead. An extended at bat for Eric Hosmer. And on the 9th pitch, he lines a double up the alley into left center.
Well, and Jake Odorizzi elects to go with that fastball, and it's right on the outside corner, but Eric Hosmer has tremendous plate coverage, a lot more balanced and quiet at the plate. He goes with it with authority, and with Cain moving, it's an easy run for the Royals.
And now Hosmer's in scoring position for Kendrys Morales. Morales is hitting .350 with men in scoring position. Line drive, and it's off the glove. Cabrera thought he had a double play and started to race to the bag before he caught the ball. Boy, he had a double play right there in front of him, and in his haste to do that, took off too quickly.
He tried to get the second out before the first.
He's been so steady. But an error here sets up first and third, nobody out. 7th error of the year committed by Cabrera. So now Mike Moustakas liner into right. That ball's headed toward the corner. One hops the wall. Hosmer scores. Morales will go to third on the double by Moustakas. And the Kansas City Royals take advantage of a mistake, and they make it a 2-0 ball game.
Boy, in games where the margin for error you figure is going to be razor thin, they just cannot afford mistakes like that. And then a changeup that stays up, and Moustakas out and around it, and the Rays in some real trouble here in the 4th.
It goes from a situation where there are 2 outs to still nobody out with 2 runs in and 2 men in scoring position. Jim Hickey heads back to the dugout after that conference before the Rays pitch to the catcher Perez. So a very tough spot for Odorizzi and the Rays in the top of the 4th. Perez misses the first pitch. That's a strike. Foul. Caught a little bit of Rivera.
Watch the glove follow the eyes. You can see as Cabrera starts to eyeball second base, the glove comes down an inch or 2. And just that little look to find second base is where that ball deflected off the top of the glove. It's what led to this trouble.
Two strikes the count to Perez. Odorizzi wants to make sure.
Well, you need the strikeout here in the worst way, and you put yourself in a position to get it.
Perez 3 of 7 in his career against Odorizzi, including the base hit in the 3rd. Lays off. It's 1-2. And the last time he went away where the fastball was off the plate but up.
If you're going to go away, then you want to keep that ball down, because you're right. Perez was able to reach it. Drop it out into right field.
This one down and covered up by Rivera. 2-2.
You wonder if they go back. You know, before they went out, Rivera ran out for the visit. It looked like they were going to try to climb the ladder with the fastball. They've gone 4 straight sliders down and away. You want to change an eye level, you would do it now.
And they stay away, and he fouls it that way out of play.
Especially when a hitter is showing the ability to now get out to that pitch. The only way that he can do that is he's got to give up something else, and he's giving up the middle of the plate in, trying to scramble after that ball down and away.
A lot of thinking going on in the process here.
Yeah.
And you also have a catcher at the plate.
Yeah.
He's trying to think along with him.
Trying to read the hitter. Yep, see there. Here we go.
He goes up and a fly ball into center field. Kiermaier is going to get into a position to throw Morales, the runner, and he's going to stay at third base. A strong throw that Rivera had to leave the plate to corral. Odorizzi was there backing up.
And you know what? Kevin Kiermaier not at all happy with himself. You know, he's a perfectionist out there. And this throw, if the Royals were to choose to run here, they'd have scored, because this is going to airmail home plate. And that's why he's not happy. Certainly a strong throw, but look how far it takes Rivera off the plate. And you can see the look on his face like that was a little bit too much. You know, you like that about him. Instead of out there pounding your chest like, look how strong my arm is, you're like, I need to be more in line than that. I need to keep that ball down, more on home plate. That's why he's so good.
Here's Orlando taking that pitch down and away, staying with the slider. So 1 out. Right now the Rays trying to slip out of this with no further damage. 2 runs home, 2 men in scoring position. That would be big if the Rays could escape with only the 2 runs scoring. Away again. 2-0. 25 pitch innings so far for Odorizzi. The fastball taken high. A 3-0 count. Rod Dyson is on deck. Swings 3-0. Skies this one into center. Not overly deep. Kiermaier's there making the catch. And this one hit the side of the mound. Loney corralled it. 2 gone. The runner still at second and third.
I don't know if that's what he had it in mind either. He kept it low and hit the side of that mound. That's going to cause an awkward bounce into Loney's gut.
Boy, it hits the side of the mound. You don't know where it's going.
That's right.
So twice he's gone. It's my bad. Wow.
Yeah, he's a lot closer here, so just keep it low, strong, straight. But boy, right off the side of that mound, Loney eats it.
Here's Gerard Dyson. Fly ball into left. Sizemore is there. Going to catch it. The Rays limit the damage. Wow. 2 men left in scoring position. They scored 2. In tonight's game and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Now the Rays managed to dodge a potential big inning right there in the top of this frame. Boy, getting out trailing by only 2. They have to feel pretty good about that.
Now you're moving into the middle part of the ball game, and a 4-run deficit at this point compared to just 2. Well, you're not kidding. Some great pitching there by Odorizzi.
Ray's happy that Paulo Orlando swung at the 3-0 pitch.
You know, and I almost said something. Would they even give him the green light here or allow him? You know, the 3 misses by Odorizzi, you're thinking, okay, now bases loaded perhaps. But he took that swing, got it out to Kiermaier, 2 to Kiermaier.
So now you get a base runner or 2, and you got a chance to get right back in it.
You know, that's where really overall a bad inning can give a team a boost, because it should have been a whole lot worse.
Jaso takes the ball. Breaking pitch. It's 2-1. Rays facing Chris Medlin tonight. He'll be 30 years old the day after the regular season ends. foul ball. Count is 2-2. Medlin out of California. So he went to high school. He was a Dodger fan. I guess high school, you're 12, 13, maybe 14 years old. He weighed 94 pounds. And he announced he wanted to play shortstop for the Dodgers. And his teacher said, you should rethink your professional ambitions.
I thought you were going to say she told him he needed to read more.
Well, that was part of rethinking. 3-2, but he's done pretty well for himself. Pitching here in the big leagues. 3-2, there's a base hit into right center. Orlando's going to have to backhand it. Jaso's going to go to second with a double. Well, there's a start here in the bottom of the fourth for the Rays. 12th double of the year for Jaso.
Well, there's not a lot of wiggle room here, full count. You're going to try to throw a strike, avoid the leadoff walk, but that ball found the middle of the plate. And Jaso hit it hard enough that you force Orlando to head after that ball at an angle deep into right center. That opens up the double.
There's Logan Forsythe. 0-1. Logan had faced Medlin over in the National League when Logan was with the Padres and Medlin with the Braves. He has a couple hits off him. Came into this game 2 of 7 against him. Shoots and foul beyond the bullpen mound off that low wall. Rays left 2 men in scoring position in the 3rd inning. Now they have a man in scoring position to lead off the bottom of the 4th. 1-2. Fastball following the off-speed pitch, and he fouled it the other way. Number picked up by Perez, who throws him out on the play. Jaso goes to 3rd.
Truly a swinging bunt by Logan Forsythe and a productive out.
Yeah, that had a little reverse spin on it.
Breaking ball right off the end of the bat. That's what gives it the English.
So here's Cabrera with Jaso at 3rd and 1 out. Cabrera out on strikes on a fastball up in the 2nd inning. Line drive, there's a base hit into right. Jaso scores and the Rays are on the board. Cabrera didn't waste any time. First pitch fastball, and he lines the single into right field.
Now, Medlin's been trying to sneak that fastball middle in and down against the lefties all night. He tries to come in here, and look at Cabrera just eyeball that and get it outside of the reach of Eric Hosmer. And the Rays cut that lead in half. That didn't take long.
Well, as you said, you get out of a big spot as the Rays did in the top of the 4th. It could give you a lift. And now they've picked up a run here. See if James Loney can keep things going. Fly ball, center field. Kane making the call, but Dyson makes the catch.
And he will be getting an earful from Kane. I mean, that Dyson all the way venturing into center field. They're laughing about it now, but communication there was not real swift.
But that Kane was all set. Here comes Dyson.
Off balance?
Yeah.
It's not how you would exactly draw it up.
Well, you could see Kane out there with a smile and then a serious demeanor after that initial smile. Almost smile and say, hey, glad you caught it. Relax a little bit.
You stay on your side. I'm Lorenzo Kane.
Okay. 1-0 the count to Kiermaier. Covered up by Perez for ball 2. So Cabrera is still at first with 2 outs. Two runs, 4 hits for Kansas City. The Rays have 1 run on 3 hits. Center field, well hit, gone! That ball carries right out of here, and the Rays take the lead. Kevin Kiermaier hit a gapper that stayed up and got out of here to make it a 3-2 ball game.
You talked about Kevin Kiermaier cutting down on his swing until you get to a 2-0 count. How about this? This is when you take your shot. 2-0, you could not have centered that any better for a hitter. Middle belt. And that ball roped on a line.
Into the seats in right center field. And the Rays grab the lead. 106.8 off the bat. That's a line drive. Well, Rivera takes a breaking ball, and the count is 1-1. 6th home run of the year for Kiermaier. The Rays have bounced right back to grab the lead. It's a one hopper, and it's grabbed by Escobar. Sets himself and throws, and the Rays are out of the 4th. But they have a big inning. 3 runs for the Rays, an RBI single for Asdrubal Cabrera, followed by the 2-run home run off the bat of Kevin Kiermaier. Rays 3, Kansas City 2. Of the 4th inning. A high-def highlight presented by H.H. Gregg. It just kept going. He wasn't taking any chances. On to the 5th. Escobar takes a pitch too high.
The best was one of his teammates came up to him in the dugout, and you could read his lips. And most guys, they hit a gapper like that gets out, and they don't expect it. They say, I thought that was a double. You know, that's just what they say.
Chopper headed into center. There's a base hit for Escobar.
Teammate comes up to him, and you could read Kiermaier's lips plain as day. He said, I thought that was a triple. I mean, he'd already given himself a triple. Like, there's no way you're keeping me in second base.
Yep. Well, you know, that's a great mindset, and that's one of the reasons that he fires out of the batter's box.
Well, how many
you like
at-bats?
That mentality?
Yeah, how many at-bats do you get a night? On a great night, you may get 5.
Sure.
3 or 4 normally. Come out of the box hot.
Yep. Now Ben Zobrist. A 3rd inning in a row now that the Royals have put the leadoff man aboard. They scored 2 in the 4th, and Odorizzi and the Rays got out of a very tough spot. That's a strike call. Escobar, good speed. The fly ball toward the line and right. That's going to be foul. That will bound beyond the bullpen mound. Take one hop and out of play. A 2-strike count to Zobrist. It's 2-5-0 now for Kansas City and 3-4-1 for the Rays. Shift now with Cabrera on the first base side and second base. Two strikes on Zobrist. Lifts the fly ball to left. Sizemore lined up to make the catch. So 1 out with 1 on in the 5th inning. Time to check in now with Emily Austin.
18-year-old Nava Rodriguez is a patient at All Children's Hospital here in St. Petersburg. Just 6 weeks before her high school graduation, she was diagnosed with large cell lymphoma. Jake Odorizzi originally visited her on Wednesday and told Daniel Nava back at the clubhouse that she has a Red Sox shirt, his Daniel Nava number 29 Red Sox jersey. So Daniel made a surprise visit to her yesterday with a special gift, a Rays Daniel Nava number 7 jersey. I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but I'm sure it's okay to replace the other one. Best news of this story, her last chemo treatment was today.
Well, good news. And a great gesture by Daniel Nava and the Rays. Rays guys do a lot of that stuff, and you don't always hear about it. And we just heard about a great story there. 1-0 the count to Lorenzo Cain. Escobar, the runner at first, single to begin the inning. Up the right side, that's foul. Nava chasing over there, but it's out of play. A 1-1 count. Third plate appearance here for Cain. Upstairs, snapped throw to first, and he's back in. Escobar went in standing up and got the foot to the bag just ahead of the tag.
Try to keep the speed guys close after the secondary. James Loney knowing right where that bag is, right where the tag needs to go.
most.
Now the count's 3-1.
Big pitch here, and I would not be surprised at all to see Escobar on the move.
It's 23 of 25 running. 1 out, 3-1 count. The pitch is outside. It was a slider. And the Royals will have men at first and second with 1 out in the 5th. Second walk issued by Odorizzi, and both have been to Lorenzo Cain.
Well, remember his first at bat, that missile into right field that Nava caught over the shoulder. That certainly got Odorizzi's attention.
Eric Hosmer, who doubled in a run in the 4th, bats again here in the 5th inning. 4th inning turned out to be a 29 pitch inning for Odorizzi. Pitch made, and it's a strike. And with the pitch, Cabrera had moved to the bag at second. Upstairs, 1-1. Hosmer now 5 of 9 in his career against Odorizzi. And he saw a lot of pitches, a 9-pitch at bat in the 4th. Looking at him again here in the 5th inning. Fouled away, 1-2. Kendrys Morales on deck. And a pickoff play. Escobar got back. Just ahead of the tag, slapped down there by Cabrera.
Boy, well executed by the Rays. Jake Odorizzi, very little wasted movement.
The Rays thinking about having that looked at again, and Kevin Cash decides to forget about it. It was close, but he did get back. One out, first and second, 1-2 the count. Strike 3 call, he got it. Caught him on the fastball. Strikeout number 5 for Odorizzi.
He has not been able to execute that pitch to Hosmer. Every time he's tried to come in, he's left it up and away. That time he's on point, and Hosmer thinking about middle away. Just cannot pull the trigger. That was a great pitch by Jake.
Two outs. Here's Kendrys Morales. Morales reached on the error in the 4th. Set a pitch away. So officially, Morales 0 for 2 tonight. Hit a 2-run home run last night. 1 of 2 hits. Two and 0. Odorizzi closing in on 90 pitches. 2 on, 2 outs in the 5th inning. A step back by Odorizzi, a step out by Morales. Odorizzi touched for a couple of hits, no runs in the third. A couple of hits, an error in the fourth, and 2 runs. Hitting the walk here in the fifth. Big 2-0 pitch to Morales. And a liner into left. That's going to fall for a base hit. Escobar will score. The throw's toward third. And the game is tied. Morales driving in his 90th run of the year. Boy, what an addition he has been in the middle of this Kansas City lineup.
And how about his contributions to this team, the team overall, with 2 outs? 2 outs, and once again, another run driven in. Ball stays away. Morales more than content to take it the other way. New ball game.
So we're all even at 3-3. And this has been a clutch hitting lineup, and Morales leading the way. Came into this game hitting .335 with 2 outs. And they have a number of hitters like that. Hosmer came in at .339 with 2 outs. And Lorenzo Cain came into the game hitting .394 with 2 outs. There's Mike Moustakas. Fouls it right back toward the on-deck circle.
How about the fact that Morales, more than half of his runs driven in have come with 2 outs?
Yep. Well, you get a veteran hitter to be that productive and that clutch. You know, there are guys who drive in a lot of runs. Well, maybe you're up 5-0 and get a 2-run home run. This guy's getting big hits and driving in big runs for him. Runner breaks for third. The pitch is high, and in standing up is Cain. The Rays had only Longoria on the left side with the infield shifted around. Cain takes advantage.
Which is complete concession on the part of the Rays. Look how far he's coming down the line. My goodness.
And the pitch is fouled.
They better keep an eye. I mean, with Evan Longoria playing basically shortstop, Lorenzo Cain was way down the line with no fear of being held on. Watch him. He starts to jog.
He's almost halfway down.
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
Why not? Pitch is fouled back. Interesting on that pitch. Longoria taken 2, maybe 3 steps closer to third, and then with the pitch released to go back to his left.
The little nuances of the shift. Got to be flexible.
Up the left side, fair. Cain scores. Morales goes to third. Into second base goes Moustakas against the shift. Moustakas hit that ball fair up the left field line to drive in the go-ahead run.
His last plate appearance, the last inning, was a double to right field. They're trying to go in again, and that ball stays up and away. Jake Odorizzi's had some trouble on glove side into lefties. That ball leaking either out over the plate or even off the plate away, and Moustakas took it that way.
So it's now 4-3 Kansas City. And here they are scoring 2-out runs. Steve Geltz has been busy in the bullpen, and Kevin Cash is headed to the mound. And that's going to be it. call goes out to the bullpen. 4-3 Kansas City. Toyota trends here with this Kansas City ball club and what they've done with 2 outs, BA.
Well, I mean, look at the average. They swipe bags. They just never quit. They never quit. They're a tough team, maybe the toughest team to close out in all of baseball with these ranks. And they're getting it done again here. Had a chance to, the Rays take the lead. You like that shutdown inning. They've struggled with that, and they come right back. 2 runs on the board and looking for more.
Well, on this homestand, the Rays have had issues with that. If you back it up, the Rays have played 6 straight games in which the lead has changed hands at least 3 times. And when they've scored on this homestand 13 times, 9 of those times the opponents have scored. I mean, that gets old in a hurry.
Yep.
And puts a lot of stress on your pitching staff and your lineup.
Beats you down mentally.
Tilts now to Perez. The pitch is outside. So 7 hits in 4 2/3. Charge to Odorizzi. 4 runs, 7 hits, couple of walks, 5 strikeouts, 93 pitches, 57 strikes. Salvador Perez takes ball 2, 2-0.
And if Salvador Perez doesn't know at this point that the Rays are attacking him down and away, he probably will never know.
Well, they've fallen behind him here. 2-0. Down and away. First base is open, and now they're going to go ahead and just walk him. So the intentional walk will load the bases. And Orlando is due up. Well, you can take a look at what the Rays bullpen has done over the last 2 games. 9 1/3 innings, scoreless.
They're not walking anybody, not giving up many hits, no runs. Need to do it again. Going to have to eat up some innings in this ball game too.
Well, they got out of a big spot in the 4th inning. Now another spot in the 5th. Bases loaded. 2 outs, 2 runs have scored, and it's Steve Geltz against Paulo Orlando. He takes the ball. Leg off the slider. Foul right back into the screen. It's 1-1. Orlando's been in this spot before. He ended a game in Kansas City on a walk-off grand slam. Brad Boxberger. Lifts a foul up the right side. It's headed for the seats. And it's 1-2. Hilton relief of Odorizzi, inheriting 2 runners, 3 aboard right now as a result of the intentional walk. Foul again off the fastball. Well, Orlando struck out on a slider in the 3rd. They've got ahead 3-0 in the 4th inning and swung, lifting a fly ball to shallow center. Now it's 1-2. Ground ball to 3rd. Longoria steps on the bag. That retires the side. Bottom of the 5th coming. 4-3 Kansas City.
Going to be the 5th annual mystery ball put on by the Rays wives. We have Allison Shelton, wife of Derek Shelton, Rays hitting coach, Morgan McGee, wife of Rays reliever Jake McGee. What's going on? Tell us a little bit about the mystery ball this year, Allison.
Well, this year it will be on September 12th, and it's kind of cool because all the money still goes to All Children's Hospital, but September happens to be Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So we're kind of going to tie that in, and all the money is going to go to the Cancer Research Department, part of the All Children's Hospital.
And Morgan, what about some of the details of the event?
Well, the event is going to be on September 12th. Gates 1 and 5 is where we will be selling the mystery balls for $40 each. And the gates open at 4:10. We usually sell out within the first hour. So if you want one, you got to show up early.
All right. And there's also, for the first time, an online component to this?
Yes, so we do an auction every year, the same time as we sell the mystery balls. But this year we're going to start the auction on the 9th, and it's going to go through to the 16th. Okay. So if you can't make it out and you want to bid on some of the cool items that we have, like we have a couple signed bases, one by Cal Ripken, one signed by Evan Longoria, you can go online and bid from the 9th through the 16th on the mystery ball auction items. And maybe if you're lucky, you could get a ball or two online. We'll see.
Very cool. Well, listen, we got some great names this year, right? We've got Pujols, Carlos Correa, the rookie for Houston. We got a lot of good names.
Yes, we have Ortiz, Trout, and then again, all of the Rays players signed a dozen balls, and then we get all the players from, like, star players from the other teams, and we wrap them all up. And then when you come in on the 12th, you pay us $40, we give you a ball in a bag, and you see who you get. That's the mystery.
I know you guys have been busy tonight wrapping up all those, so we need to let you get back to that. So, Allison Morgan, thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Rays Wives Mystery Ball, 5th annual, coming up on September 12th, Saturday against the Boston Red Sox. Guys, back to you.
All right, that gets more popular every year, by the way.
It certainly does.
It's like Christmas here in, the late August, early September.
Christmas come early.
Yeah. I don't know what present you're getting, what autograph you're getting on those baseballs.
That's
kind of cool.
That's the best part of it, the not knowing.
Sizemore struck out on a breaking ball, and Daniel Nava up in the count 1-0 against Chris Medlin. And that one just brushed him. He's hit by a pitch. I'll tell you this, Brian O'Nora, some good eyes on the hit by pitch. Got a thread.
Yeah, or two.
Yeah. Evan Longoria is grounded out and struck out. Rays got 3 runs in the 4th inning. Cabrera singled home a run, and Kiermaier hit a 2-run home run. Two and 0. Rays batting in the bottom of the 5th inning. Down to third, backhanded stop. Moustakas throw to second. Out the call there. Alan Porter on the call. Well, what a stop by Moustakas. And to get a throwaway and have it anywhere near the bag. And that was a close play. Take another look.
Rocket shot in and out of the glove, but he finds it, turns, throws. And that ball certainly did get there ahead of the slide of Nava. Wow, what a play. What a play.
2 outs. Longoria aboard on a fielder's choice. Outstanding work by Moustakas down there at third. John Chaso can get a pitch down. And at first, 2 outs. Medlin worked 6 innings against Baltimore on the 24th in his other start. Made 69 pitches. This will be his 65th right here. And it's low. 2-0. And he had Tommy John surgery in March of 2014, and that's the line against the Orioles.
How about this? How about the fact that that ball game he had a 70 pitch limit? He got 6 innings in with 1 to spare. It's pretty efficient use.
2-1. Coming back. Made 7 relief appearances and now the second start. Tapper 2-2. He's made good use of really all of his pitches, but a good curveball, and that's something that set him apart when he was so successful in Atlanta.
We've seen a couple of the changeups that have been pretty good, but the fastball, he's been able to locate that for the most part. One out over the plate to Kiermaier that cost him, but you're right, the curveball is the pitch that jumps out at you.
We'll see a 2-2 again to Jaso with that one fouled away.
Now, and it's after a pitch like that where you'll see him yank that curveball down and in. He's done that repeatedly here tonight to the lefties. Here it comes.
And a chopper. It'll be a tough play. Barehanded by Escobar, and he got it. What a play by Escobar on the barehanded pickup and the throw to first to Hosmer, your retired Jaso. Off the bat, you thought, well, maybe there's a chance, but look at the barehanded pickup and throw. Two-run frame for Kansas City. Eric Hosmer doubled, capping a 9-pitch at bat, chasing home a run. Mike Moustakas doubled up the right field line to make it a 2-run inning. Rays got 3 in the 4th, 2 on the home run by Kevin Kiermaier. That made it 3-2. And the Royals back with a couple runs in the 5th. Morales driving it around with a base hit. Moustakas again with a double to make it 4-3. We go to the 6th. Gerard Dyson takes a pitch inside. He's leading off against Steve Geltz. Then we go to the top of the order, Escobar and Zobrist. Missing the fastball this time. 1-1. Geltz in relief of Odorizzi, who made 93 pitches tonight. Foul, and that's going to be out of play. 1-2. Sure what's going on here with Brian O'Nora out in front of the plate, addressing an audience of 2.
That doubles his last audience.
So 1-2. They're 7-0 for Kansas City. 3-4-1 for the Rays. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rays came in 2 games under 500. 3.5 back in the wild card chase that involves 5 teams. Roller to the right side. That's Forsythe. 1 gone. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light, and it has continued to be a struggle for the Rays, not only this year, but if you date it back since 2013, the Rays are 3-15, and the starter and bullpen ERAs well over 6.
Very cold and extremely hard facts.
Escobar pitches to strike. The Rays 0-5 against them this year, dropping last night's game, a tough one, 3-2. They're down by a run right now, 4-3. It's 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Cabrera with the throw, and Loney can't scoop it. Escobar is aboard.
Well, the one thing that you know is you're going to have to hurry with Escobar heading down the line, and Cabrera's had to move to his right and come in for that ball, so it's a quick field and throw. He flips it over there, and usually James Loney absolutely money on these, and that ball off the glove comes up in the air.
It'll be an error charge to Cabrera, his 2nd of the night.
Yeah, you're fielding that ball and getting rid of it quickly and hoping that your first baseman can bail you out on that one.
And usually Loney can.
Yeah, he's been one of the better ones you'll see.
Now the runner goes, and this pitch gets away. It's a steal for Escobar. Well, Rivera could not stop that pitch, and then bumped into Honora on his way trying to find it to the backstop.
Well, he's trying to come out of his crouch and get that ball on its way down to second base. That's what this team does, the pressure they put on you defensively. And as he's coming up, now he's got to reach. And that ball's right off the edge of the glove between the legs of Honora.
See, Honora called it a strike. And that's a stolen base.
Well, here's the thing. Brian Honora was straddling home plate, and the fastball went right between his legs. Had to be a strike.
So that's the 14th stolen base for Escobar. Zobrist fouls it, caught part of his foot, and it's 1-2. Rays starting this day, 3.5 back in the wild card chase, tied with Baltimore. The Orioles in Texas just underway. Baltimore did not score in the first inning. A little tapper, that'll be foul. Man at second base with 1 out. There's the wild card. Texas has the 2nd spot by a half game over Minnesota, 1.5 on the Angels, and then 3.5 over both the Rays and the Orioles. Angels playing Cleveland. They're delayed in the bottom of the third, tied 1-1. Minnesota's home against Houston in the top of the fourth. Houston has a 1-0 lead in that game. Rays down by a run in the 6th inning at home tonight. Steve Geltz, Zobrist, who rolls it foul. To left, that ball will be caught by Sizemore, who lays out and makes the grab in left center field. For a moment it appeared that ball might drop on him, and a diving catch by Grady Sizemore. Great grab out there by Sizemore.
Now it's slicing back towards him. That's helping him out as he's closing ground, but now you got to leave your feet at maybe a foot or two above the ground. He comes up with, well, do or die, because if that ball's able to get by him, Ben Zobrist at least on second. Obviously a run in. A huge play for the Rays defensively, courtesy of Sizemore.
Keeps it a 1-run ball game. And gives Geltz a chance to get out of this inning if he can get Lorenzo Cain, who has walked twice tonight and has scored each time. Did he go? No, says Clint Fagan. Cain line to right in the first inning. He came into this game the 6th leading hitter in the American League. 2-0. Rays, after their second homestand win, they're 1-3 on this stand, but they trail 4-3. Well, these middle innings have been tough for the Rays here, trying to hold Kansas City to a minimal amount of damage. 2 runs in the 4th and 2 runs in the 5th, and that 4th inning could have exploded for a lot more.
Yeah, that could have gone very poorly. That ball could have gotten by Grady Sizemore. Anytime you got an outfielder laying out horizontal to make a play, and you've got to keep it here. You can't let the Royals expand any further with that bullpen lurking.
A strike. 3-1. Eric Hosmer is on deck. He has doubled in a run and has scored 1. Foul back and the count is full. Came in with a fastball there. Up the middle, base hit off the 3-2 fastball. Escobar scores. It's a 2-run game now, and the error comes back to hurt the Rays.
And another 2-out run-scoring hit for the Royals.
Is that all they do?
I mean,
2 outs?
It's getting to be epidemic.
So Lorenzo Cain comes through. We had mentioned earlier how effective this team has been with 2 outs, and Kane continues to lead the league in 2-out hitting. It's his 57th hit. He came into the game hitting .394 with 2 outs. Eric Hosmer. Runner breaks. The pitch popped up. Foul ball left side. Longoria has a play and makes the catch. That'll retire Kansas City. They score 1 unearned run and they lead 5-3. On this day in 2000, Pedro Martinez hit the first batter of the game, happened to be Gerald Williams. It resulted in a beanball war and the ejection of 8 Rays players and coaches. After hitting Williams, Martinez retired the next 24 consecutive hitters before John Flaherty broke up the no-hit bid with the leadoff single in the 9th inning. Boy, well, those fun nights.
Well, let's make this one a little bit more fun with a little comeback victory.
Well, the Rays down by 2 right now, 5-3 against Chris Medlin. The Kansas City bullpen's going to start to get active, and the first pitch in the bottom of the 6th is fouled, a check swing, strike 1. Morales up in the bullpen. Eddie Romero starts to throw for the Rays in their bullpen. Forsythe jam popped it into shallow center, and Zobrist goes out there and makes the catch. The pitch in to Forsythe, 1 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. 71 pitches for Medlin. Jubal Cabrera drove in a run with a base hit and then scored a run in the 3-run 4th. He rode home on the Kevin Kiermaier home run. Which is a strike. One and one. Two and one. We talked about the other games going on and how they may impact this wild card chase. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays just continue to cruise right along in a crushing manner. They beat the Tigers in Toronto today 15-1. Edwin Encarnacion hit 3 home runs, including his 3rd grand slam of the year.
He was going for this cycle of home runs.
Yes.
He went grand slam, 3-run homer, 2-run homer, and then ran out of time.
Yeah, 9 RBIs. 3-2 now to Cabrera. And by the way, Russell Martin also hit a home run. He hit the solo home run.
So as a team.
Yeah. Full count on Cabrera. 1 out, bases empty. Popped up. That is out of play. Well, speaking of runs batted in, how about this? Josh Donaldson 104. He leads. Encarnacion's now 3rd. Bautista's 5th. And Morales in there now with 90, running 4th. The Orioles' Chris Davis with 92. A lot of blue and 3 Blue Jays.
Yeah, you would think they would run out of guys to drive in.
Yeah, I mean, really anybody left to drive in?
Well,
ball 4, Cabrera goes to first. And now that's going to be it for Medlin as we take a look at the East. Toronto up by 2 on the New York Yankees. The Rays into the night tied for 3rd with Baltimore. Pitching change coming for Kansas City. Tomorrow, the Rays take on the Royals again, and kids 14 and under receive a DJ Kitty drawstring bag presented by All Children's Hospital, Johns Hopkins Medicine, while supplies last. For tickets, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Franklin Morales entering the game with James Loney due up. Morales pitched briefly last night. 3rd of an inning. Faced 2 hitters, hit 1 of them. And now Joey Butler will pinch hit against the lefty. Butler, suddenly representing the tying run, takes a fastball high. One. Morales followed Volquez last night. He hit Geyer and then got Nava. Moved to first, and back in is Cabrera. Kiermaier's on deck. It's 2-1. Kevin accounting for 2 of the 3 runs for the Rays with a 4th inning home run. It's Chris Young, Yankee right-hander in the bullpen. Ground ball headed toward the middle, backhanded. Zobrist steps on the bag, throws to first, and gets the 4-3 double play. That ends the 6th. On to the 7th, 5-3 Kansas City. As promised, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #SSDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Daniel Nava is going to play first base now for the Rays. Butler staying on to play right field. Loney lifted for the pinch hitter. Andy Romero's the new pitcher here to begin the 7th. He's making his 10th appearance. Facing Kendrys Morales, the first pitch of all. Romero pitched Wednesday in the 5-3 loss to Minnesota. 1-1. Just 1 inning and gave up a hit, no runs, and picked up 2 strikeouts. Good cut and a miss. Romero had 2 scoreless outings against the Twins. The day before, on Tuesday, worked 2 innings, then 1 hit baseball, 3 strikeouts. A 1-2 count on Morales. 2-2. That one clocked at 97.
The only question that you have when Eddie Romero comes into a ball game is, will the command be there? Because if it's there, he's difficult, very difficult to hit.
Piece of that one foul.
We've seen that fastball at 97, a little cut fastball, almost like a small slider, 89-90. That's what he's used to get the strikes.
Still 2-2. The foul ball out of play. And the count is full. Morales hitting from the right side against the hard-throwing lefty. The left-handed hitting Moustakas on deck. And to short. It's Cabrera. His throw is right there. One away. If you're playing fantasy, MLB.TV serves up real-time highlights and pitch tracking info on your out-of-market fantasy players live or on demand on over 400 devices. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Get MLB.TV today. Mike Moustakas now. This is the first pitch, strike one. Moustakas driving in two of the Kansas City runs on a pair of doubles. It's 1-1. Ball, 2 strikes. Pitch darting away from Moustakas.
Yeah, nice to have another option. You know he's going to come in with a big fastball, but now having that little short slider, little cutter, whatever he wants to call it, change of pace. Another one right there.
And he gets him on strikes.
And that was more of a true slider. 87, you saw just that subtle movement, a little bit of depth, locks up Moustakas. Those eyes never leaving the target. That was a nice shot there. Missed the target there.
Just a little bit outside.
Now sometimes when he's trying to hit that arm side of the plate, arm side fastball, he will pull off of it. The body will start to head towards third base, and he just pulls off of it, and that ball shoots wide.
Comes back with a strike. Pretty good little feel for that pitch right now.
Yes, he does. He's thrown a number of sharp little breaking balls.
And he'll pick up the corner with a fastball at 97.
You know, that pitch actually helped him get back to driving straight ahead, staying linear. You want to go to the outside corner, don't peel off towards third base. Drive towards the outside corner.
Into right toward the line. Butler over there for it, and he makes the catch. 1-2-3. Go the Royals. 5-2, 5-3 Kansas City. Kevin Kiermaier will open the bottom of the 7th inning. He's collected a base hit, an infield hit, and a 2-run home run tonight. Capped the 3-run 4th with the 2-run home run. Been a good month of August at the plate. And the pitch as a strike came in for the month, hitting .321 in August. And has 2 more hits tonight.
And he's been smart about his at-bats. Being pitched away, we've seen him shoot balls into left field, get ahead in the count like he did earlier tonight, take a 2-0 fastball center cut and drive it, got out of the ballpark.
Bows this one back. Fastball, it's 1-2. Well, the action figure, the Kevin Kiermaier Outlaw action figure, the premium item tonight. And he apparently one of them has come to life.
What was this, night at the museum, night at the Trop?
Oh, strike 3 called. Morales got him on the breaking pitch. Well, Rene Rivera is due.
Your attention, please.
And he's going to be lifted. Brandon Geyer will bat. Rivera, who was hit by a pitch in the 3rd that deflected and hit him essentially in the mouth and the lower jaw, now will be lifted with Geyer coming on and hitting .290 for the year. Pitch hit last night in the 7th and was hit by a pitch. Dave Island, the pitching coach, spending some time out there on the mound. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live. The pregame shows presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Nathan Carnes on the hill for the Rays tomorrow in search of his 8th win. He's 7-5. And Orestes will break down Eric Hosmer and the year he's having. All of that on Rays Live, the pregame tomorrow. Geyer swings and misses. Strike 1. So Geyer pinch hitting with Sizemore on deck. Two behind that fastball.
Yeah, and you would think that if Kansas City's paying attention, Morales and Perez, you would stay right there. That fastball away from Geyer, a little bit of elevation to it. He's gotten 2 by him out there.
He leaves this one foul out of play.
Well, we know one thing. If you bring it close to him, it better not be too close.
Yeah, he has a magical way of being hit by pitches.
He's got great technique. Great technique. Best in the league. Although that one that he got hit with last night off the front of his shin, that had to hurt. I mean, that was a nasty spot to get smoked.
Cut and a miss. Geyer out on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts. A fastball in the mid-90s. From Morales, 2 up, 2 down.
He crowded him, everything away. Then he comes in, and Brandon Geyer just cannot get to it.
Well, J.P. Arancibia comes off the bench. So Arancibia will bat for Sizemore with the lefty Morales out there. 2 outs and the base is empty. And out comes Ned Yost, and that will be it for the left-hander Morales. Well, Morales works an inning and a third. Back with a new pitcher after this. Epic meals, epic deals. By Geico, 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Circle K, get your favorite size Polar Pop all summer long for just 69 cents. It's a 2-run ball game at the Trop tonight. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Chris Young, veteran right-hander who's made 16 starts this year, will make his 10th relief appearance. 9-6 on the year for Young. Cut and a miss from Aaron Sebia.
Well, Chris Young, he started the season off coming out of the bullpen for the Royals. Got into the starting rotation back in beginning of August.
The liner and a base hit for Aaron Sebia. He's off the bench and has himself a base hit. Yeah, Young made a start against the Rays in Kansas City in July. And Sebia down to get that one.
That ball stayed middle. They wanted that down and away. By keeping that ball out over the plate, Aaron Sebia able to reach it, extend this inning. Well, listen, the Royals, they've had the 2-out magic all season long. Went out a little bit for the Rays here in the 7th.
Maybe a little payback, huh?
I mean, as many times as they victimized the Rays and everybody else, why not?
Daniel Nava with a strike to count on him. One Young made a start against the Rays on the 7th of July. There's Alex Colomé in the bullpen. He gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. Loney and Longoria got him for home runs in that outing. Longoria would be next if Nava can come up with a base hit or a way on base. Down in the count now, 1-2. Nava has walked. He's been hit by a pitch. Hit the ball to the warning track in center field his first time up. There is strike 3 called. Nava caught looking. Rays leave a man. We're headed into the 8th inning as we look at the strikeout pitch. 5-3 Kansas City. Game summary brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. Kansas City grabbed a 2-run lead in the 4th. The Rays briefly led 3-2. Now trail 5-3 headed into the 8th. And follow Orlando facing Inny Romero. Romero of 1-2-3 7th inning and misses with a 95-mile-per-hour fastball to begin the 8th. Miss, a new battery mate for Romero. J.P. Arancibia, after pinch hitting, takes over behind the plate. And a little different look in the outfield as well. Strike. Dyer's now in right. Butler moves from right to left with Sizemore lifted for the pinch hitter. Very wide. It's 2-2. Dyson on deck. Count is full.
Well, and that's that front side flying open again. Romero so eager to get to the spot that the front shoulder is flying open. Shoulder flies open, torso, hip, follow, arm can't catch up.
Got a little bit of Arancibia. Foul ball. We'll do a 3-2 pitch again.
You know, sometimes when you get a guy like Romero who has such a big fastball, they want to throw it so hard that they kind of come unglued mechanically. Then all of a sudden you call that little slider, and they know that they've got to let the hand work out in front. So they quiet down mechanically, get the hand out in front. Sometimes that can get them right back in line.
Fly ball short right. Geyer coming in is there. Orlando's out on the fastball. And you hope they maintain or retain that feel on the fastball.
Well, they've
seen some signs of that from Romero.
Yeah, last couple of times out. That, you know, here tonight it's arm side run has been a little bit too much at times. But I think that Rivera and Aaron Sebia, for that matter, have used that little slider to get him back in line. And he's shown a nice feel for that pitch overall. Yeah, not many poorly thrown in this outing, if any.
1-1. Two balls and a strike. Rizzi worked 4 2/3, gave up 4 runs. Geltz 1 unearned run and an inning and a third. Now we'll go to 2-2 on Dyson. Of that one. Count still 2-2. And he just missed with a fastball. To right field. Geyer going back at the track and with a leap makes the catch. 2 gone.
This ball well struck by Dyson, but ran Geyer on his horse to the warning track and up and over the shoulder. Whatever motivates you, baby.
Yes, indeed. Now it's Escobar. CD's Escobar. He's been on twice. Twice has scored. Reached on an error in last time. Singled his way on in the 5th. 1-0 the count. 1-1. The ball and 2 strikes. In this recent stay here by Romero, we're starting to see a few more pitches from him.
There are definite building blocks being put in place here. You're right. More pitches, command's been better, and you're starting to see what the potential could be. You think about Romero coming out of that bullpen with that explosive left arm, a couple of different pitches to work with, boy, throwing strikes, dominant. Think about Alex Colomé, his growth coming out of that bullpen. That's what every team would love to have. The team that the Rays are obviously facing have kind of set the standard for that back end of the bullpen, shorten the ball game. Although so far tonight, no appearances. It certainly doesn't look like there's nobody warming up, so you'd think Chris Young's going to be back out there for the 8th.
There's a chop back to the mound. Romero and the throw. Oh, he bobbled it, safe the call. Well, Kind of a soft little toss from Romero, and that messed up the timing. And Nava scooped it, but juggled it there. And Escobar is aboard.
Yeah, that ball was never really secured. You'll see it right here. Kind of rolled up the wrist. No question.
Second baseman, Ben Zobrist.
So they charged Nava with an error. The Rays' third error of the night. Here's Ben Zobrist. And 0 for 4. Sizemore made a great play on the ball he hit to left in the 6th inning. That's a strike. Zobrist had 2 hits last night, was 2 for 4, had a single, an infield hit, and then a double later in the 3rd inning and scored a run last night. Chops it to Cabrera. This time the toss to Forsythe that time. Man left on base and there in the inning, no runs, and it's still 5-3 Kansas City. Come join the party we call hat-tricks by SunTrust. New checking options that work as hard as you do. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays trail by 2. Evan Longoria leads off the 8th. And the pitch is a ball from the tall right-hander Chris Young. Evan 0 for 3 tonight. Started to go after that pitch. And it's 2-0. Evan does have the home run off Young in Kansas City, a 2-run home run. Pops it up this time. Hosmer, the first baseman, making that catch.
Well, you get yourself into a good count at 2-0, and you can see the frustration with Evan Longoria. That ball had a little cutting action to it and took it right to the edge of the bat.
John Jaso. 1-0. Here's So opened the fourth inning with a double and eventually scored on the Cabrera hit. Now 3-0 to Jaso.
Yeah, this is what you need. You need to get a base runner and then pop one.
Jaso takes ball 4 on 4 pitches. He's aboard. One on, one out for Logan Forsythe. Logan looking for his first hit tonight. His hit last night came in the 8th. He was 1 for 4. Pitch is in there for a strike call. Brent Boxberger beginning the routine to limber up down there. It's 1-1. Kansas City out hitting the Rays 8-5. They lead 5-3. It's now 1-2 on that foul ball.
And how about this? Yeah, it's not like this is a huge lead. It's a 2-run lead. You're in the 8th inning. We talk about that back end of the Kansas City bullpen with Herrera and Davis and Holland. Chris Young is the one that's in the game right now.
Yep. They had the big arms. They had Herrera in and then Holland last night.
Yep.
It's a foul ball back.
You know, you've got Ryan Madsen down there, Luke Hoshaver. Davis now.
See the rank of their bullpen in the American League. Wins, ERA first, innings second, opponent's average, and the whip just 1.08. And in and up to Forsythe, and he's out on strikes.
He just tied himself up on that fastball. You know, Chris Young, difficult. This guy's got NBA basketball height coming straight over the top. And you can just see how that ball just continues to ride in on Logan and gets right over the handle of the bat.
Two outs for the runner aboard. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Pitch is in there at the knees for a strike. Cabrera 0 for 2 against Young. Quickly he's down 0-2. Chris Medlin worked 5 1/3. The Rays got all 3 of their runs off him. They came in the 4th inning. Franklin Morales worked an inning and a third. Now it's Young. Cabrera strikes out. That's going to end the 8th inning. Rays leave a man. We go to the 9th. Rays down by 2. By Checkers. Todd DeRestis will be along to anchor the coverage. We'll hear from the Rays skipper Kevin Cash on the manager's post-game press conference. Emily Austin will have interviews from the clubhouse. The post-game immediately following our coverage. Back out there, Romero, Eddie Romero. Face Lorenzo Cain. Foul. Cain with a couple walks and an RBI single. He walked and scored in the 4th, walked and scored in the 5th, and drove in a run in the 6th inning. The 2-out clutch hits have been a big part of the Kansas City attack tonight, as it has been all year for this team.
And when you build that kind of a reputation, you understand as an opposing pitcher, you've got to bear down for all three. There's no get the first 2 outs of an inning and then start to cruise, because this team will put something together on you. And the thing is it can start with something as simple as a walk or a bloop hit. All of a sudden you steal second, and now you got a runner in scoring position, and here they go.
Yeah, the impressive thing about this team is that, and the fact that they battle you all the time. They contest every pitch, whether it's 2 outs or 2 strikes or the first pitch of a brand new inning. They're engaged from the get-go.
There are some lineups, you think about the Blue Jays, they will wear a pitcher out mentally, pitching through a ball game with them because of the damage they can do with the power.
Yep.
But this team does the same thing in a completely different way. They don't have the power. I think the fewest home runs in the American League, but all of those things that you talked about, and then you add in the stolen bases, the extra base hits, 2-out hit, all of that stuff, that will wear on you also.
There's a big cut, and Cain is out on strikes on a 97-mile-per-hour fastball. That's the first out in the 9th inning. College football returns to Fox and Fox Sports 1 beginning Thursday, September 3rd, when former Michigan quarterback Jim Harbaugh makes his debut as head coach of his alma mater and leads the Wolverines against the Utes of Utah. And the only place you can see it is on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Hosmer fouls one back. That's a strike. Two. Ball there, down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Romero starting his 3rd inning of work with a strikeout ahead of Hosmer. And a bouncer over the head, and that's going to be an infield hit. Boy, Romero with a little leap there off the third base side of the mound, couldn't get high enough. And Longoria cutting across just couldn't connect to make the play.
Yeah, this was all about Romero. He's the one that's going to have to flag this down. Once it gets by him, just no chance. Nobody was going to be there in time. Gave it everything that he could, just perfectly placed.
Second hit of the night for Hosmer. He had doubled in a run in the 4th. Morales straightens up on that pitch as it came in a little bit. Two and 0. A trip to the mound by Aaron Sebia.
Well, here we go. 2 outs. A little chopping, or sorry, 1 out. Felt like 2 outs. It was a 2-out hit.
Yeah, well, they never do anything unless they're 2 outs. Big cut. He aired it out that time. 97 on the fastball and a big swing from Kendrys Morales.
Well, a guy that's been as productive as Morales, a 2-0 heater, center cut. He better have some velocity behind it.
Runner takes off and a throw down. Back of the bag and standing up Hosmer.
Well, that was strange all the way around. I mean, Hosmer, you know, this is a ball club that's up by 2 runs. Never was stopped. That was the thing. Never stopped by Romero. He gets a walking lead, a running lead, and then no coverage. Boy, it has not been a pretty night here for the Rays defensively.
Covered up by Aaron Sebia, and a nice stop there. Kept it out in front of him. The count is full. Wade Davis standing on the bullpen mound. Ball up the middle, and right there station Forsythe. He makes the play. Hosmer goes to third. So 2 outs. Mike Moustakas, who is 2 for 4, is the hitter. Minota, Rizzi, Geltz, and Romero. Geltz throwing in the bullpen. I don't know. Two balls, no strikes. Romero behind, 3-0. Rays in the bottom of the ninth due to have Butler lead off. It'll be Butler, Kiermaier, and Geyer coming up. Moustakas pops it foul beyond the bullpen. Swinging 3-0 to make it 3-1. A base hit into right center, and that's going to score Hosmer. And Moustakas drives in his 3rd run of the night. That runs it to a 6-3 ball game. Well, the scratch hit, that chopper infield hit by Hosmer, turned into a run on the base hit by Moustakas. So a couple of hits here in the inning and a run. Jim Hickey makes a trip to the mound.
This Kansas City team does not quit, and you're right, a chopping infield hit. He gets a running lead at first base and is able to swipe second. You'd like to, say without a throw, but no one covered. That was an easy stolen base. Moves over to third on a putout, and guess what? Another 2-out hit to drive in a run.
I mean, they're just amazing when it comes to that.
Catcher, Salvador Perez.
Stockus with 3 RBIs, 59 on the year, and here is Perez, Salvador Perez. Strike. Perez had a base hit in the 3rd. 1 for 3, was intentionally walked in the 5th inning. Tied up there. Cunningham on him. 0-2. I'd like to see Romero finish off the inning and feel good about a 3-inning stint. Ground ball to the right side, a 2-strike pitch, and a base hit into right. Well, the last 2 nights, Salvador Perez has 3 hits. They've all come on 2-strike counts of one form or another. So 2 men on with 2 outs. And the pitching change coming. Gomes will get into this game. Reports when the Rays and the Royals wrap up this series, and Nathan Carnes will go to the Hill in search of his 8th win. The Rays will then hit the road for a 10-day, 9-game road trip. First tomorrow, and Nathan Carnes on the Hill. Right now, it's Brandon Gomes inheriting 2 base runners. Paulo Orlando will be the hitter. Gomes makes his 48th appearance.
We need a specialist to come in and get that 3rd out, apparently, against this ball club. Not been easy.
Swing and a miss. What have they scored? 9 runs?
This series,
7?
Yep. Yeah.
With 2 outs.
And then how many that first series out in Kansas City where they scored 33 runs in that series,
and dominated.
Yeah, 20-some. I mean, it's been amazing how many 2-out runs against the Rays this year.
2 the count. swing and a miss. He chased the fastball. Orlando out on strikes for the second time tonight. It's 6-3 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Welcome back to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Rays are down 6-3. At one point they led 3-2. Down by 3, and they'll face the former Ray, Wade Davis, who follows Chris Young to the mound. Young pitched an inning and a third. Picked up 3 strikeouts, and now it's Wade Davis. Joey Butler. The pitch is a strike on the outside corner.
Wade Davis, one of the best fastballs coming out of the bullpen. Well, he's been just outstanding in the role, the late inning role. A lot of times it's the 8th inning. Tonight getting an opportunity to close. You saw he was 12 out of 13.
Butler getting his first look at Wade Davis, and when you look at the lowest ERA list of relievers, Wade Davis right at the top, 1.01.
Well, he is the standard bearer. And didn't want to go to the bullpen. Wanted to remain a starter. Those days are over, I think.
Pitched so well in the bullpen, probably not going to be a starter ever again. Swing and a miss. Butler missed the fastball at 97. It's 10 strikeouts for Kansas City pitching tonight.
Well, 97 stays behind it. That ball just doesn't have, there's just no drop. He drives that straight plane right in to the strike zone above the swing.
Kevin Kiermaier 2 for 3, including a home run tonight. That's a ball. Ground ball, first base, scooped. Hosmer makes the play unassisted. So 2 up, 2 down in the ninth inning against Wade Davis. And it will be Brandon Guyer. Geyer entered as a pinch hitter in the 7th and struck out. The pitch skied to right. Orlando's there, and this game is over. 3 up, 3 down go the Rays in the 9th inning. And the Kansas City Royals have taken game 2 of this series 6-3 for Kansas City. 6-11-0, 11 left for the Rays, 3-5-3 with 6 left. Medlin's going to pick up the win. He's 3-0. Odorizzi, the loser, 6-7. Davis picking up a save before a little over 24,000 here tonight at Tropicana Field. For Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. If not the outcome, we'll be with you tomorrow at 12:30 on Sun Sports for the wrap-up game of this series. Coming up next, Rays Live, the postgame presented by Checkers.